Chelsea beats Lyon, Wolfsburg wins in first leg of Women's Champions League quarters. Lyon's chances of a seventh Women's Champions League title in 8 years were hit by losing 1-0 to Chelsea in the first leg of the quarter-finals on Wednesday. Guro Reiten's winner, a curling strike in the 28th minute, puts Chelsea in control against the defending champions heading into the second leg next week at Stamford Bridge. Since 2016, Lyon only once has failed to win the competition, in 2021, when the team was eliminated in the quarter-finals by French rival Paris Saint-Germain. PSG, which has never won the Champions League, lost 1-0 to Wolfsburg in Wednesday's other quarter-final first leg. Delphine Cascarino hit the post for Lyon in the second half, but the 8-time champions couldn't find the equalizer at the Parc Olympique Lyonnais. The Norway international's goal was set up by Aaron Cuthbert, who fought off Ellie Carpenter in midfield before delivering a pass into the area for Reiten's one-timer. Chelsea has never won the tournament. It lost to Barcelona 4-0 in the 2021 final. In Paris, defender Dominique Janssen converted a penalty in the 62nd minute for the visitors at Parc des Princes. The penalty was awarded to the German team after a video review determined that Elisa de Almeida handled the ball in the area, an infraction that earned the PSG defender her second yellow card and a sending off. In Tuesday's first legs, Bayern Munich and Barcelona won 1-0 against Arsenal and Roma, respectively. Declan Rice dismisses harsh criticism from Graeme Souness. West Ham captain Declan Rice has hit back at criticism of his game and said he takes harsh comments made by pundits such as Graeme Souness with a pinch of salt. The 24-year-old has come under the spotlight in recent months as the Hammers battle to stay in the Premier League while his future continues to be speculated on. Leaders Arsenal have been heavily linked with the England midfielder, who is in line to collect his 40th cap in the Euro 2024 qualifier against Italy on Thursday night. He has been largely praised for his performances at international level but was recently the target of criticism from Souness. This midfield role is a vital part of any team because in an ideal world, it's multidimensional, you are creative, you chip in with goals and you've got a defensive head at all times, Souness wrote in the Daily Mail last month. If you've got all three of those attributes, you're worth your weight in gold. For me, Rice is just one of them. Rice, though, claims Souness does not watch West Ham enough to have formed a worthy opinion on his apparent shortcomings. It's harsh, I think it's harsh because Souness doesn't watch West Ham every week, he said. There's loads of West Ham fans, 60,000 go every week, and see what I do. So I think to say I'm only good at one of three things is harsh. Souness was a top midfielder, a top player, and when someone like him speaks you have to sometimes listen and take on board where you can improve if that's true. Of course, you have to take on board what people say, otherwise you're never going to improve. I try not to read too much. There has always been loads of talk around my name. But for me, now I'm here, it's about these two fixtures for England, and of course when I get back to West Ham it's about playing the best I can for that club to get us out the relegation battle and win the Conference League. Former Ireland captain Roy Keane said ahead of West Ham's FA Cup defeat at Manchester United that Rice hasn't kicked on, and that he thinks he needs to do a lot more, calling on the player to add more goals and assists to his game. He's said some glowing things about me in the past and sometimes some things I can improve as well, Rice said of Keane. It's one of those where you take it with a pinch of salt and try not to let it affect you that much. I can take criticism on the chin quite well. If it is that way I can see where I can improve. Southgate challenges England to take next step towards Euro glory. England's quest to win a first major tournament since 1966 starts afresh on Thursday as the Three Lions Euro 2024 qualifying campaign begins with a testing trip to champions Italy. After taking time to consider his future following a World Cup quarter-final exit to France in December, Gareth Southgate will remain in charge as England boss for a fourth attempt at glory. Southgate has overseen a transformation of his country's fortunes on the international stage. But after reaching a quarter-final, semi-final and final in their last three major tournaments, anything less than ending a 58-year trophy drought in Germany next year will be seen as a disappointment. Southgate might have sounded a warning this week about the declining number of England-qualified players playing regularly in the Premier League, but he admitted that is a worry for the long term given the array of talent available to him currently. Arsenal winger Bukayo Saka and Borussia Dortmund midfielder Jude Bellingham proved themselves to be two of the brightest young talents in world football in Qatar. Harry Kane's next goal for his country will make him England's leading scorer in history, while Marcus Rashford's potential is finally being realised under Erik ten Hag at Manchester United. An injury to Rashford means he will miss the opening two qualifiers against Italy and Ukraine this week, but Southgate is not short of options with Manchester City duo Phil Foden and Jack Grealish set to battle it out for a place in the side. For all the progress made under Southgate, though, victory over Germany in the last 16 of Euro 2020 remains his only knockout win against one of the major nations in international football. The Three Lions outplayed France for much of their meeting in the quarter-finals in Doha 3 months ago, but still came up short when it mattered. These are the sorts of games where we have to show we can go to these places and win, said Southgate on the prospect of facing Italy in front of an intimidating atmosphere at the Estadio Diego Armando Maradona in Naples. That is the next step for us as a team. England fell short on penalties against Italy in the Euro 2020 final on home soil and failed to beat Roberto Mancini's men in two clashes in the Nations League prior to the World Cup. The Three Lions did not win a single game in their Nations League campaign but were still able to bounce back close to their best once the World Cup came around. And Southgate is wary of another drop-off in standards during a qualifying process with little jeopardy for the major nations thanks to the expansion of the European Championship to 24 teams. Kane motivated to break England goal record against Italy, says Southgate. Harry Kane is ready to break the all-time England goal-scoring record in his team's opening Euro 2024 qualifier against Italy, manager Gareth Southgate said on Wednesday. Tottenham striker Kane is locked with Wayne Rooney on 53 goals for his national team after missing a penalty in England's World Cup quarter-final defeat to France. But Southgate says he has put that disappointment behind him coming into Thursday's Group C clash in Naples. "We've seen with his performances and goal scoring with his club he's put it behind him," Southgate told reporters. "I know he's going to have added motivation tomorrow night to come back and show everybody what he's about in an England shirt. For us that's a good position. England have a poor record against the world's top sides and Thursday will be an acid test against the team that snatched Euro 2020 triumph from them at Wembley before dumping them down to the second tier of the Nations League. We've been involved in some of the biggest matches in world football, they know the level that's required, they know they have the ability to compete at that level," Southgate added. "Whatever we've done in the past is irrelevant tomorrow night, because we have to start again and have the humility to work hard to qualify again, and it's a great fixture for us to get that underway. Italy didn't qualify for the World Cup but they still have some outstanding players and they will be highly motivated as well." West Ham midfielder Declan Rice said that narrow defeat to France in Qatar hasn't discouraged England from aiming for the major tournament success which has evaded them for nearly 6 decades. "I think if we look at ourselves after that France game, we took a lot of positivity from the game even though we lost," said Rice. "I think as a group of players there was a real belief in the room that we can compete with the best but it's down to us now to go that one step ahead, beat a top nation, and win a trophy. That's all that's on our mind, starting tomorrow night, trying to beat Italy and starting our campaign off well. I want to stay." Dejan Kulusevski insists his permanent transfer to Tottenham will not be impacted by Antonio Conte's future, with the club expected to sack the Italian following his extraordinary press conference. Dejan Kulusevski has insisted uncertainty over Antonio Conte's future as Tottenham head coach will not impact his permanent transfer to the club. Tottenham are preparing talks with Antonio Conte over the terms of his expected exit from the club, with the Italian having just 3 months left on his current deal. His departure appears to have been hastened by a blistering tirade against his own players in the aftermath of Saturday's 3-3 draw against Southampton. Kulusevski was asked about his own future while on international duty with Sweden, with the 22-year-old having initially joined Spurs on an 18-month loan deal from Juventus in January 2022. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, like and share. See you again with more news. Bye for now.